So this is a diagram that we're going to come back to again and again. These are the 5 elements. And the law of the 5 elements is about the relationship between these elements. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a brief overview to give you a taste of what these elements are about. And often the nicest, the easiest way of seeing the elements is in the seasons, because that's how they most easily manifest. That's how it's most easy to see them manifesting. They manifest in all areas of life, but the seasons are the clearest way that we can see them. So I'm going to start with the wood element, because that's the beginning of the cycle, if you like. That's in fact, the very essence of the energy of the wood element is about beginnings, and it's about birth. And we see that in springtime, when everything bursts back into life again. And we see new life being born. We see lambs being born. We see birds, chicks being born. But we also see little buds coming out on the trees, and that kind of determination of the bud to poke out from the seemingly dead branch, where it looks like there was no life, and suddenly you've got the first kind of ray of hope, if you like, that life is starting to return. So this birth and the energy needed for birth of exuberance, there has to be a powerful force that creates new life out of seemingly nowhere. And then what happens is, once that starts to become fully ingrained, then we start to reach summertime, and the birth, the birth and the growth starts to. So the buds, a good way of looking at it is the buds that are kind of this shape start to unfold, and we go from growth to expansion. And there's an expansive feeling about summertime. You just have to see people, and the urge to lie on your back and to spread out, the urge to be vocal, the urge to jump around, the urge to laugh and to meet up with people and to have fun, to party. That is very much what the fire element is about on that level, just to give you a kind of taste of it. And we the great thing is, we all feel, we know what these elements are about, because we feel them. We are the energies. So when we're talking about them, when we're teaching about them, we're not teaching you something you don't have as a wisdom within your body. So it's more about helping you to draw on that experience and that knowing that is inside you. So then after the summertime, we're getting into that period now when we're starting to get into late summer. And in Western understanding, there are only 4 seasons, but the ancient Taoists saw that there were 5 separate movements of energy. And that after the yang, the peak of yang, the zenith, if you like, the peak of yang, which is the fire element, then the energy moved into a different time, which they characterized by looking at the harvest time, because there's a very different energy about the harvest time. Whereas the flowers, the fire is the summer is about the flowers, but the flowering, if you like, to use that metaphor of flowering of life. But the earth element is about the fruits. And you could say the fruits of your labors. So if you're looking at this from any kind of human endeavor, any project, these 5 movements of energy are also relevant when you're looking at any kind of project. So when you get to a certain stage of a project, for example, you start to reap the fruits of your labors. And that's what happens at the harvest. You just have to look at the abundance when you look at an orchard with apples kind of heavily groaning on the trees, and that kind of sense of richness and ripeness and abundance. Or you look at a golden cornfield, and you see that kind of rich golden color shining in the light, because the light also changes in late summer. There's an orange kind of glow as the sun starts to kind of become lower in the sky. And in fact, that orange colored light, the frequency of light, is actually what triggers the fruiting of the plants. That's how nature knows that it's time to bear fruit, because the frequency of the light changes because the sun is lower down in the sky. And then once we had the harvest, everything has to start to shrink and contract. So in the metal element, there's 2 movements that are going on. There's a consolidation, if you like. There's a drawing in the nutrients that are being gained from this cycle of growth back into the roots. And what happens is the plants need to draw in the essential elements, the essence, if you like. so that they can take those nutrients through to the next cycle. And that's what we have to do in any cycle in life too, is we have to kind of distill the essence of what was gained from that cycle and let go of the rubbish, let go of what no longer serves us. So the plants let go of their leaves, but before they do that, they suck out the nutrients. So that's why the leaves change color. They go from green to orange or red or brown, depending on the plant. And it's because the nutrients, the minerals have been sucked out of the leaves and back down into the roots to be saved. And the minerals are metal, essentially, or they're forms of metal. And meanwhile, the dead leaf, which no longer serves the plant, which no longer has any function, is dropped down to the ground. But even then, nature recycles. It uses the nutrients that are left in the leaves, and it rots back down into the earth. And then finally, we have the water element, which we can see in wintertime. And here, there's a very different energy again that needs to happen. And what characterizes the water element is a real, on the surface, is a real stillness, because it looks like life has kind of gone to bed. Nature has put itself to bed, and the trees are bare. There's no animals running around, scurrying around. A lot of animals are hibernating. I always joke that it's just the crazy animals, the humans that run around doing Christmas shopping while everyone else is hibernating. But it's kind of an illusion that there's stillness on the surface, but deep underneath the earth, there's actually a lot going on. And the word gestation, or the word germination, is a really key word here, because there's a very powerful force, a gathering that's happening to the energy. And many plants actually need to have a cold spell in order for that germination process to happen. And in us, we need to go through a period of challenge to go to the depths, if you like. I was talking earlier about life challenging us in order to push us into the depths. And this is where we meet we kind of come into contact with the deeper aspects of who we are, and that kind of seed, or that essence that gives us the determination. And if you look at waves crashing on a beach, for example, that's the power of water. It's that kind of incessant determination, or incessant power that just doesn't stop. And we have that within ourselves too, if we can get in touch with it. And it's what's needed to power the growth that then comes up in springtime, that allows this growth that seems like it comes from nowhere, but is actually powered by water.